This is my mother, and I believe she's going to the United States in this picture. That's my mother in ¡68.
Catherine Jackson of Raynham has lots of photos of her mother, but very few actual memories.
I remember her knitting every night, the tit-tit of the needles going.
Her mother, an Irish immigrant, died at the age of 44 when Catherine was just 9 years old. Catherine has spent much of her life wondering what her mother was like.
It was always very difficult for me. I couldn't mention my mother without crying.
For her 40th birthday, her husband surprised her with a trip to Ireland. Their first stop was a visit to her mother's last known address in Dublin, where they hoped to inquire about her. Unfortunately, no one was home.
My husband was like, well, we didn't come, how many thousand miles to turn around and walk away. He could go knock on another door.
Eventually, Catherine made contact with one of her mother's friends. When Catherine returned to the U.S., she received an auspicious phone call from this friend.
She said, Catherine, I got something I want to tell you. I got to tell you, and I need to tell you. 13 years ago, a woman came to the neighborhood and specifically knocked on my mother's door and said that she was Josephine Reeves's daughter. And I kind of just sat there for a second, and, it was just like an electrical shock kind of went through you.
Catherine eventually found contact information for her sister, whose name was Susan and who was living in Manchester, England. Nervously, she made the call and got an answering machine.
I said, hello, I'm calling because I was just recently informed that your mother, Josephine Reeves, is also my mother.
She didn't have to wait long for a return call.
My son yelled, there's a crazy number on the caller ID. I picked it up and she said, Catherine? And I said, Susan? And she said, yes. And I said, is it true? And she said, it is. It was just bawling and crying, and all we kept thinking was that Mom somehow guided all of these things to happen together so that we could find each other.
The sisters, unknown to each other for most of their lives, are now in daily contact, including twice-weekly video chats.
Yay! Hello! How are you?
Hi. It's Glenn's birthday tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, God, don't remind us.
The sisters spend a lot of time comparing notes. They have a lifetime of catching up to do.
It's been nice to look at one another and to think, I do that, I've got that expression.
When she cries, she gets the red nose, and so do I. And, do you have a birthmark?
It's just so neat, it's just amazing.
It was just crazy because I never thought she would have a sister. It was so weird when I heard about it.
We thought that she was just joking.
We got more presents for Christmas.
I think I've probably experienced the largest range of emotions I've ever had in my entire life.
The two families, now one family, separated by an ocean, are planning on meeting face-to-face sometime in the new year. For now, the computer and the telephone suffice.
All right. Bye. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. There we go.